Okay, thanks for watching this latest YouTube video of mine. Right now I'm driving in my 2004 to early 2004. It's a 53 plate. So it's, at the time of driving this car right now, it's about 13 years old. And I absolutely love this car. It's a car which I mainly use for just driving around the local town, the local city. If I've got a few jobs to run here and there, and I haven't really got the kids, then this is the perfect car to just jump in, do what I need to do, and Bob's your uncle. However, there are a few things that I don't like about this car. Now, I know it's a 13-year-old car, so there are always going to be things that start to fail and start to, deteriorate over time. I understand that, I get that. But these are 5 things that I think maybe have something a little bit to do with the build quality. I'm not too sure, so I'll get into it, and you can make your own mind up as to whether you agree with me or whether you think I'm being just a little bit too critical. So the first thing about this Mini that I don't really like is the fact that the car has so many dashboard rattles and creaks and just too many noises when you're driving along the road. It's not necessarily just because the road is quite bumpy. I mean, you'll often find them happening on straight and quite well laid new roads. So yeah, I mean, basically I've taken the whole dash apart and tried to sort of pad it as best I can, and to actually sort of prevent any new rattles or vibrations, but it just seems to be an impossible job. I've took the whole dash off. I have taken the radio parts out, the side parts on the radio here. What you can see is I've filled the back of the dashboard with sort of rubber fuel line, which doesn't really seem to have helped at all. So it's just more annoying more than anything that you can't really drive without putting the radio on. You have to really put the radio on just to blank out and to dull out all of the horrible creaks. I mean, I could push this dashboard here, and I'm not sure if you can hear it, but you'll probably hear it creak like mad. And that's just sort of pushing on it. That shouldn't be happening, I don't think. Anyway, that's the first thing that I don't like about this car. So the second thing that really grinds me about this Mini is the fact that when you're driving from first gear to second gear, not always, by the way, it all depends on how much acceleration you're putting on, but the car just always seems to jerk like that. So if you're putting it into first gear, then you're putting it into second gear, the car will always jerk like that. Now, I've had previous BMW 3 Series where they all did the same thing, and it turned out to be a little thing called a clutch delay valve, and basically it's with regards to where the clutch fluid goes through, and there's a little valve. What you really need to do is just simply make the valve just a little bit bigger, or you can delete it altogether. So I'm not sure if that's the same issue that I'm having here, to be honest, because I've seen a lot of reports that the engine mounts also need to be replaced, and that can prevent any sort of jerking. What I've got here is if I'm completely at a standstill and then I'll put my foot on the accelerator, I'll find that the steering wheel just sort of knocks like that when I sort of pull the clutch up and drive away. So that to me would suggest it's possibly something to do with the engine mounts. Now I suppose I can't complain too much because I haven't actually tried to change the mounts over yet, so it's just something I am being a little bit critical of, and maybe again it's something that could be happening due to wear and tear of the car. So yeah, it's quite jerky when driving, and that's the second thing that I don't like about this car. Okay, Alright, so the third thing that I don't like about this car is, now this might sound like I'm being really anal here, and fair enough, I would see your point, to be fair, but it's the fact that I think the boot is just so small. Now, I know what you're saying the car is a Mini. It's a Mini. It's supposed to be small. It's supposed to have small features, and I get that. However, I've driven many cars which are the same size as this, and the boot is an awful lot bigger than this Mini's boot. For example, the Vauxhall Corsas. There's been a few Hyundais, Ford Fiestas, all of which are in the same sort of class and range, and they all have bigger boots. Now, I'm not knocking the boot, because there's only been a couple of times when I've actually struggled to get everything in, and like I say, I don't really use it for loading up the car to go shopping or anything like that. It's just a few jobs here and there which I might need to undertake. So yeah, I get that, but I don't know, I think the boot could be a little bit bigger on this car. I know it's a Mini, so maybe that's only half a thing that I don't like about it. Alright, so the fourth thing that gets on my nerves about this car is the fact that the steering on it is extremely heavy. It is. I've driven two other Minis as well, and they've all been really heavy steering. Now, I don't know, I just think it should be a lot lighter. All the fluids have been changed, all the fluids are up to date, and it's well serviced. So I think it's just the way they are, the way they're designed. It's quite annoying. It doesn't make it any less of a fun car to drive, or it doesn't make it any harder to park or anything like that. In fact, it's very easy to park, and that's one of the things I love about it, which I'll go on to at some point. I'll make another video on that, but yeah, for now I just think that the steering is just too heavy on this car. And you might be sitting there with your Mini thinking, well, what's he on about, because my Mini steering is not heavy at all. And it's not that heavy when I'm sort of driving it like this. It's just really, I think, more when you're doing slow speeds. So like when you're pulling off your driveway or pulling off from a parked road onto the road, you've got to kind of really work at the steering wheel to actually get it to where you need to be. And again, that could just be me being really critical of the car, but it's one of the things that I feel could be improved. So that's the power steering isn't all that. Bear in mind, of course, this is a 13-year-old Mini. There's probably new Minis on the road which don't have this problem, and the steering's probably a lot better. So that's that. Alright, and the fifth and final thing that I don't like about this Mini is the fact that when I'm trying to reverse park, I find the all-round vision of the car pretty poor. Not necessarily when I'm looking through the rear windscreen. However, when I am turning my head round to look at the rear quarter there, which you should be able to see now, I just find it completely blocks off all vision. Now, I know cars need to have that rear quarter, but I don't know. I mean, I don't seem to have that trouble when I'm driving other cars, and they've all got a similar rear quarter, obviously, but this one just seems to be excessively thick. So that is the sorry, I'm just trying to negotiate this roundabout here. Yeah, so that is the fifth thing that I don't really like about this car. But overall, though, I mean, I do love the car. It's, like I say, it's just a perfect little runaround to just get in and go. I've never really had any problems with it. I've never really had to replace any parts. It's the engine's sound. The only thing I will have to replace soon is serviceable parts. I need 2 rear tyres on the car, but I mean, you need tyres no matter what car you're driving, so that's got nothing to do with the car. But yeah, I mean, I really love this little car, and I hope to keep it for as many years as possible, because I think it looks good in the green. Don't see many of them in the green. But yeah, so that was just, you know, every car's got little niggles that you don't like about them, especially cars which are, you know, at this age. To be honest with you though, I can find faults and problems and things I don't like about brand new cars, which I have made videos on in the past. So thanks for watching this video. I do apologise if it has bored the life out of you, but I just thought I'd put it out there, and if you're interested, you're interested, and if you're not, then move on to the next video. But either way, thanks for watching, and I shall see you next time.